United Nations is facing both a personal and humanitarian crisis. Several of its people apparently have been killed in the collapse of the UN headquarters in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Meantime, the United Nations is gearing up to distribute humanitarian aid to the devastated country. For more on that story, we're going to Neil McFarquhar at the United Nations in New York. Neil, let's start with what you know now about the collapse of the UN headquarters there in Port-au-Prince and the number of deaths. We're hearing that there are several.
Well, details are sketchy because, of course, telecommunications have collapsed. They're trying to get through via satellite. They do know that the Christopher Hotel, which was up in Pétionville, which is sort of the richer area in the hills, was badly affected. There were 100 to 150 UN staffers in the hotel at the time. The chief of mission, Mr. Hediana, a Tunisian, was meeting with the Chinese delegation. He is still unaccounted for. They have pulled 5 people out of the rubble so far as of this morning, and they have about 9,000 troops in total in the peacekeeping force that's in Haiti, and 3,000 of them are in and around Port-au-Prince.
Now, what kind of activity is going on there around the UN headquarters here in New York, where you are trying to send in reinforcements? What's the plan so far as you know it?
You know, they said it's a major humanitarian crisis. They are, of course, mobilizing the various agencies of the UN, the humanitarian relief, the World Food Program. They're all sort of gearing up to send extra supplies. Since it's just happened last night, there isn't really a plan formulated yet. They have pulled $10 million from their emergency fund so far, and they expect for a worldwide appeal in a few days when they know the extent of the damage and what needs to be sent. They're also calling for international search and rescue teams to be sent and medical crews.
Neil, this is a large loss of life for the UN, actually, in this sort of disaster. What kind of human reaction are you sensing there at the headquarters?
You know, it's sort of in crisis mode at the moment, so people are kind of going from meeting to meeting. They don't really know yet. It hasn't really been confirmed how many people were killed. You know, if it is, it's probably mostly concentrated in that headquarters staff. They said...
Neil, before I let you go, you were in Haiti back in the spring. Haiti is in dire straits even in normal times. How do you imagine the people of Haiti coping with this kind of disaster?
Yeah, one of the first questions asked, of course, at the briefing this morning was sort of about the security situation on the streets, because, of course, the government was toppled in April of 2008 due to food riots in Haiti, and also the country has been hit by a devastating series of hurricanes in 2008, which killed more than 800 people. So it was already sort of on the UN's list of countries that needed help and assistance from around the world. So it really is a whammy on top of a situation that was already difficult, and I'm sure they're just reeling and trying to figure out how they're going to cope with that.
You know, one last thing, Neil, you know, you hear that the people of Haiti are very resilient and inventive. Was that your experience, and is that going to help them now?
They are really resilient. I mean, you know, the minimum wage there is $1.75 an hour, and people find ways to exist on that. So I'm sure that they'll cope with this. But, you know, again, it's a city of 2 million people with not a lot of resources, so they're going to go through a very difficult time.
Neil, thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.